Right? So when you say event, it's a model that lets me create a new event or edit an existing event. Right? So if you see the model is pretty slim for what it is doing. There's hardly any code that we needed to write in the model. So there's no get data, none of that. All we are doing is we are telling it that it needs to pick up the event table of the type JDK table. So that's all we are telling the model to do. And then we are telling the model which is the XML it needs to pick up for building the JForm. So we have get form and we have load form data, where we tell the model which form, which XML to pick up the data from. Okay. So that is all that is happening in the model. Okay. There's one more nice thing that's happening in the model is we are registering a hit when someone actually calls this model. So every time the get items field is called, okay, or an item is fetched, we actually increment the hit counter for that event. So that's all that's happening in the event model. Now let's quickly create an event and see how this works. Okay, so this is my admin of this team. So I'm going to create a new event. Okay, so again, a very simple event form, nothing fancy. We probably see if we can add more to it. So we have an event name. Category is something that I'm just playing around with yesterday. I'm not sure if it's going to be working. I want to remove this validation error of PS. So the URL is very important. Right? So that's some of the mistake that I'm seeing a lot of people making is that for items that we need to show in the front end. For example, if it's an event, you want to obviously show an event details page, right? When you visit the event details page, you want a nice URL showing up. Then question mark ID equal to 92, right? That's so lame and that's completely unprofessional because your clients expect that you have nice URLs and they are obviously good for SEO, right? So it's supremely important that you have an alias field in your column, and then the alias field should automatically generate the alias from the title, unless you specify a special alias. So what I can do is I can actually keep this empty, or I can put something like my alias. So since I have given my alias, the model won't try to generate something for me. Okay, now I'm gonna purposely keep some fields blank and see how the validation works. Okay, so it kind of pointed out required fields. Now, one thing that's missing over here is that if validation fails, we would want to keep the fields that are filled in pre-filled, right? So that's something that's also in the model with some more extra code, which I'm not bothered to put right now. But let's try and see how. So yeah, so field required category. So what I'm going to do right now is because we don't have category management added, I'm just going to disable the category, remove the category field for now. So I'll add this last one without actually completing the. So if you see, I'm actually removing this from an XML, right? So we sometime back we talked about in load data and load form. We talked about some XML that we are editing, right? And this XML is actually what creates the form. Okay. So what you'll see in a minute is that I don't write any code to actually print the form. I mean, I write some code, but it's not a lot of code. But the magic is done by the XML. So in the XML, you define which fields you also show up in your form. Okay. So if you remember, we have an event title which we are displaying. We have our illness, we have a description, we have created by, we have event date, this, that, right? So we have these fields which are defined in the XML for the model. Right? So if I refresh, you would see the category going away. Category went away, right? So basically that's magic. So just by defining an XML, you can do actually, I mean, you can pretty much automatically have your forms and everything updated. Right? It's important to actually use this JForm concept to build your forms. So they become very flexible. Let's try and save this one. Later, let's pick up a user. Pick myself obviously. So created date is not finally. So event starts. I want to put event starts today. Obviously, events today. So select an option which is publish and publish. I was today is equal to the update the language. Just say. You miss that? So that's something that we want to do today. So I'm going to give out this code to whoever wants to improve generating. Your first challenge is to actually, if the validation fails, you need to pre-fill all the information. That's an easy job. Cool. Event shape. Also, curriculum or like in event shape. And then, so that's your form, right? So how much code do you see we've written for a form? Even if I want to add like more fields to it, the amount of code that needs to be written is this XML. So XML obviously you have to write because you want to define which fields you want to have. So if I open the model, let me have the model. So this is your model. So 90 lines of code, but that's doing a lot of cool things. It's also doing a hit count. So you can do popular events feature, right? 90 lines of code in the model. How many lines of code in the controller? So we have a lot of comments obviously. This is like hygiene code. But in terms of code lines of code, we have like zero, right? All we have is an empty controller class, right? So hardly any lines in this. So this is the form that actually generates the form to create an event. So if you see again, I'm not really writing any code here. All I'm doing is I'm actually getting the form and looping it through for all the fields and printing the form. Okay. So only if you want to have a different layout than the default one column layout, would you want to actually print each field separately over here? If you want to actually use a quick vertical layout, all you have to do is loop through your fields and get it done. You can even do cool things in your XML, like actually creating multiple groups, multiple field sets. So if you see, there is this field set over here. Okay. And if I see over here, it is looping through each field set. Okay. So it's possible that you actually arrange your form into tabs also. So you create so as many field sets you create, you can actually create as many tabs. Right. So that's one more task for today's workshop is that you create a multi-tab form. So that's the code that I've written for the form. Okay. Again, very minimal, nothing fancy. Everything is pure bootstrap. Bootstrap, bootstrap, bootstrap. And no save, nothing here. So if you look at the table class for event actually. That's the event table. What I'm doing over here is I'm actually just telling the table that this is my actual database table name. Okay, so the constructor you have to actually just call this. You have to tell the constructor what is the primary key of your table. Okay, that's about it. And then, so like I talked to you before, actually let's see that, right? So let's see that in action. I will show you something. So on the list view, okay. So you might have seen that we have published and published over here. Okay. I can actually publish. I can unpublish. Right. Okay, but did you see any code written for publish and publish? We saw the model code, right? So there's the table code. So any did you see publish and publish? Thank you. All right. Model publish and publish. See anything? थोड़ा तो पूरा खाली है. Nothing in there. So no unpublished code, but still publish and publish codes. Right? So that's magic. That's what the Joomla framework gives you. Publish and publish it. You just have to ensure that you write your models right. You get tons of these features out of the box. Zero code. Okay. So where were we? We're looking at the table. Yeah. So if you see, by default, Joomla assumes that your published field is named as published. Okay. But I kind of was a little different. I thought I'd call it state. Okay. But just because I call it state, Joomla doesn't say ki, no, you don't get a published feature. You just need to tell that, okay, I'm calling my published field as state, and you still get the feature. Okay. Same goes for ordering. So again, we are supporting ordering, right? But we didn't see any code for that. So again, the same thing. If you don't name your field as ordering, you can always set column alias as whatever field you want, and you still get ordering. So what I've written below in the table is the validation and the alias creation. So if you see, go back for a minute, and if you try to edit our workshop, the alias got created, and we didn't write it, right? So it got automatically created. So this table does the magic for you. It's not magic, you written the code for that. But it actually generates the alias based on the title. That's what it does. If you don't provide one, if you provide one, obviously what you provide is getting used. Then it ensures that the created by is a valid Joomla user, so you can't write any invalid number there. It also verifies that the end date is always after the start date. So these are basic validations, right? So you don't want to save data in your table which don't pass these validations. So these are not, I mean, although these sound a little logic, these are not really logic validations. You might want to you might not want to have an event that has a start date that is previous than end date. So I mean, this part is a little questionable because we don't want our tables to be even this intelligent. All of that should really be in the model. But that's kind of a thin line between validations in the model versus validations in the table. But that's about it, right? So hardly any code we've written. So we had like 90 plus 20 plus 70. So how many is that? 180. Right? And out of that, the actual code lines is pretty small because a lot of it is really comments and grids. Right? They have a working model with that. And the benefit is when you have to add fields, this ratio becomes really better. So if you had like if you have 10 more fields, all you're doing is updating the XML and adding those tables to your database. That's all you're doing. You get as many tables, as many columns as you want. So that's the form view. So I'm going to quickly run you guys through the list view and how we are using this view in different places. Close all of the form. We just okay, so this is the list view. Okay. So in the list view, I can obviously search for events. If I search for this, it shows me only Joomla. I can clear. What I can also do is I can say show me events that are published, unpublished, trashed. I can also say that show me events that are happening after first output. Okay. Right. So all of that filter is possible. Now let's actually see how this is all implemented. Again with the related code. So I'm going to open up the events model. So see how the name has a plural events in it. It's not event. I'm going to open up the events controller. Again, zero code. So this is one small code. So no table, right? So there is no separate events table. We are just fetching stuff from the event table, the list of things that you are displaying. So there is no events table. And then we have a view, which is events. Okay, let me start by showing you around this default.php. In the default.php, all I am really doing is painting a HTML table, okay, with the headers, and everything else is just looping through the data that we have, okay, and printing the data. Joomla gives you stuff like alternate row colors, stuff, and then we have pagination over here. Okay, so this pagination is something again magically not come. So we'll see how we have not written code for pagination and we still have pagination. This is sorting. So shaking. Okay. So we have sorting. We have sort by event name, sort by start, sort by date, sort by creator, sort by state, sort by event ID. So all of that again zero code. Okay. And on the top we have the search tools. Okay. So we had date filters, we have title filters, we have state filters. All of that is still magic. So that's all we have in the list view code. Okay. Now this is something. So Joomla actually splits its view component into two separate files. One is the pure template part of it, which is this file, and this file can be also overridden. So if you want to not hack everything and have your own different way of presenting images, you're free to override this file without actually calling it a code. But this file is something that you cannot override. This one, and this is what is responsible for getting data from the model and actually pushing it to the layout file. So if you see over here, we are doing this get items. Okay. Now this get items, okay, is going to call the get items method from the model. Okay. So this is how it works, right? So this get pagination would fetch the pagination method from the model. Now which model is defined in your controller? Okay, so in the controller, we define which model we have to fetch data from. Okay. So it's doing get items, get pagination. It is also getting state variables. Then it is also getting the filters, and it is also getting what are active filters. If there is an error, it returns errors. Otherwise, it prints the toolbar and displays this. So we have a nice nifty add toolbar thing over here. So whatever you see in the toolbar, all these buttons. So we have delete, edit, new, publish, unpublish, save, copy. All of them come here. So title is the one that top obviously you want to title. This one. That's the title. उसके बाद you have see delete, edit, add new, publish, unpublish, copy. Right. So if I remove something, obviously the CV चला जाएगा. So that you know I'm not lying. So we lost here copy. No, not. Okay, so that's your view.html.php. Okay, so that's how you set your data. And this data, so if you see over here, these items and this pagination, if you see we are using it over here, these items you are looking through these items and this pagination you are actually pagination. So one important thing that I would like to point out when you are building layout files is how you write PHP code in the layout files. Right? So layout files, who use layout files? Obviously, you as extension developers will end up writing a lot of layout files. But who are your end users or consumers for layout files? Who are the people who will be editing layout files? Front-end people. Usually, front-end people are very great at HTML, CSS, but they are not so great at PHP. Right? So what you want to do is you don't want to write a lot of PHP here, and whatever PHP you write over here has to be very easy to understand. You don't want to bother them with ये curly bracket इधर खोला है उसको इधर बंद करना है. This is such a pain for me. Right? So then there's a different way that PHP lets you write your for each if else statements without using curly brackets. It's something like this. So if not empty items, which means other items empty नहीं है तो ही list view build करना है. You can put a colon. Similarly over here for each these items as I row, I put a colon. And then at the bottom we can end for each and end in. Okay. So this is a different way to write your loops and conditions. But this is convenient because it doesn't let, I mean, I don't need to bother with ये curly कहाँ पे है. I mean, of course, I need to bother with the order of closing, but it's easier than actually tracking the ये curly bracket इधर उधर. I mean, that's just a convenience thing, what I think. It makes it easier for front-end developers to actually read the code freely. So avoid writing any curly bracket conditions in layout. Yeah. Okay. So these are events model. Events model again very minimal. Okay. So we are setting the constructor out here with fields that can be filtered. We'll come to that in a bit. Now, if you saw, we were supporting filtering based on title, filtering based on status, and filtering on event date. Right? So all we are doing is we are writing this one, and if you see, this guy is calling the function called get items. But in the model, do you see any get items? No, but this. So there is only get list query at construct. Right? There is no get item. So where is it coming from? Obviously, it's coming from the J model list, which is the parent class, which has this nice continuous function. So all you have to do over here is generate a query that the model will fetch data from. Okay. So because you're supporting filters, what you have to do is you have to actually select star from JTKT. Okay. Now if you got the filter state, okay, you want to do a like on the search string that I wrote. Additionally, check if there is a state for start up, which is from date, start down. Okay. So if you have only start up, rather if you have both, then you do a between query. Right? If you have only start date, then you want events that are greater than that start date. And if you have only start down date, you want events that are less than that. So that's all the query that I'm writing. And then you want to write a query that listens to what ordering you want. Order by title, order by date, order by this, order by that. So then you are just setting the order and you are returning the query object. Okay. So if you see over here, nowhere are we actually saying that I want to query SQL. Right? So all we are doing is in this get list query, we are building a query that will eventually get executed by the parent model. We are not actually writing anything. Okay. So this is how your model works. Okay. No extra code, all specific stuff. Okay. Now let's do a quick small exercise. Now I want to, so if you see over here, you want to clear the filters. Okay. So right now, okay, so right now it didn't come up because if you see our query is only searching in the title field, right? So when I search for TechD, it didn't show up because obviously TechD is not in the title as well, right? So I want to start supporting searching in the description also. Okay, so can someone suggest the code that I need to write? Can you suggest? What is the code that I need to write if I have to support searching in the description field also? Huh? Or so just tell me. So I go. So, you want to come here and do it? Maybe just tell us what you would do. So, and Takma or Takma. Fine. Do you given any other suggestions? Okay, got it. So, or Takma. Let's say we have. I want to also search in areas. Yeah, let's say I want to search also in some other field. Fourth field. One more. Fifth field. One more. Sixth field. Seventh field. Eighth field. Tenth field. One more. Is that scalable? No, right? So, an easier way to do that is use some kind of an array like this, okay, and just put just kind of write a statement that you can implode and send to the page, right? Make sure you are writing smart code always, okay. Don't repeat yourself. So that's the very fundamental principle of writing code, right? So, do you know about it? Don't repeat yourself. DRY. Try. Everyone heard about it? Everyone has heard about it? DRY. Right? So what is DRY? Don't repeat yourself, right? So the moment you see something that you are needing to repeat again and again and again and again, move it into something like that, right? So otherwise it becomes completely maintainable, and you end up writing like horrible code. It's not maintainable. Yeah. Now one last thing which we will wrap up is we talked about set state and get state, right? What's what's there is some use to it. त्या मॉडेलला स्टोर तर वापरायला सेटचे वापरायचं डायरेक्टली जे इनपुट केलं असतं की answer your those questions. So what we will do is quickly create a module, right? When I say so module as in mod underscore or module, not model, module. So we have this small event story. Is that open? Okay. Modules. I think I was just lazy. I just put in some existing module. So I have this module actually loading over here. Find out which module I put the code in. So, use admin. Yeah, login form. See, that's so basic. I put the code in login form. Black. Actually, override. Yeah, cool. So if you see, what I want to do is I want to get a list of events. Okay. So all I did is I imported the events model. So this line here lets me import the events model. Then I created an instance of the events model. Right? Items model. So this is how you can import any model anywhere. Okay. So when you want to insert a JLite to do from any other component, this is what you want to do. Obviously, JLite to do insert करा तुम्ही JLiteचा एक सिंगलचा model घ्या, multipleचा नाही. And that's how you do it. Then if you see over here, what I'm doing is I'm setting state. Filter.state 1, which means I want only published events. Okay. I can also set the start date filter. Okay. And then I will do get items. So Let me comment this now. Okay. So because of the filter state one, it will just give me all the published items. I'm just doing a printer, so it might not be very legible. But see, now this gives me all the. Let's try to make it a little nicer. So the time is pretty long. So, so we have this. We have all the events that are published. Now let's change this to 0. So what if I want all the unpublished events? Just change to 0, right? Okay, refresh. I get unpublished. Okay. What if I want all the events, all published events that are happening later? So I just do this. And only one event will appear. What's the name? So that's unpublished, right? Yeah, that's how you do it, right? Pretty awesome stuff, right? And then in a real world use case, obviously you won't code this. You would take this from the module parameters. Module parameters will have things like, so we can do also things like created by, right? So if you see, our model supports, it does not support yet. But you just need to add a uh, state state condition of created by. Then you can do things like show my event, show my friend's event, show not my events, all of that, right? So it's just about supporting those state variables and filters in get list query. Okay. So you want your get list query function to be very rich, but at the same time very small. You don't want a huge get list query. So be very intelligent, very smart about when you're writing your list query functions to make it as power back as it can be, but at the same time not writing too much code. Right. So this will let you have supremely flexible list views, right? And you can also, so if you want, I mean, that's a nice challenge that you guys can take up. Is that you can write a very generic get list query function that can do equal to or like matches with all the fields that you provide. Okay, I mean, something intelligent, something nice to work on, and that means that even this code can be, this code is not required. You just need to declare what fields to search as like and what fields to search as exact, and your get list is ready. So I was into interested in doing something like that. So cool. So that's how I do it. So obviously I've changed the model, changed the module code, but this is not what you would do. So essentially what you're doing is you're setting state variables and calling get items. Now get items, if you remember, get items to anything, right? So get items obviously is in the parent class. In J controller, I think I opened the J controller. Right? This J controller list. Actually. Yeah, yeah, J model list. So there is no get items here. All we are doing is writing our get list query in a very nice manner, and there you go. That's all. So that's how I want all model interactions to happen. Okay. So as an example, when you want to get a list of order items for an order, what you should be doing is doing something like get the order items model, set state of filter dot order ID of whatever your order ID is, and get all records. So it automatically gets you all the order items for a given mean order ID. So that's how we need to write code. So any questions for us? We are running already 15 minutes late, so we should rather wrap up fast. So any more questions? Any suggestions? Do you see any improvements? Do you see this is like मालूम था या इधर मालूम था या ये कहीं नहीं ऐसे भारी नहीं count you can do model get count limit. You have to limit how many to fetch. Set limit. So you need to just look up the get list query. You need to look up get items and see what variable you use and use that. So that's a good question. Let's learn how to do that also. Because I don't know. So what you do for that obviously is G model list. You have to open G model list. Current G model list has eight items. So G model list not there. Any idea?
So install games, sir.
So I have a yeah, so we have set start. I think so. So get start. So this get start and this get. So you need to set these variables. So let's set start. So total the चार असतील तर it should really give you only two. This obviously is set. That is set. The get start. That's super opera. Get start. Get set. Set start. Set state. Get start को क्या है Get start को it is setting get state. Set state of list dot start and list dot list. Go back. No, it is not taking. It doesn't should be picking up from user state. This get state. That's what it means. That's exactly right.
I use that in Bajaj.
Okay.
Taking records CSV. So over this what
It's not
set integer value.
list but limit is limit. We want to start. We can obviously try to both. Second, list but limit. Not changing. So let's figure out. And then we will.
So actually, select enable list of state करना है, limit list का set करें, select करते हैं state star करें, list dot state करें,
List dot state. What state? Plus, are you setting the state for start or state for limit?
तो list का set करें, select करते हैं list से अपना variable दिया है, और
List is the list not in.
तो आपको select करना है, select star करें, get list variable.
Upon links, upon limit चा code here is if you see our model, we have not written any limit code here. Select star के लिए select star is fine. Select star upon limit we are trying to set limit which is 0, 100, 10, 100. So we are not written that anywhere. That is there in this model. So I think you should figure that out. It's not a hard task. Just try something. There is this store. I think maybe get start. This is the store that you want to use. So that's what it is. The other thing that we want to know. This is good. So we start the work on the 15 minutes before that. I want to quickly run through one more things. The next thing is about code reviews. Okay. So next thing is about code reviews. So I mean, again, we've seen a lot of times teams struggling with code reviews, either code reviews not happening or code reviews not happening with the right intent. Okay. So I want to run you through. So the other part is about code reviews that we will do. So how to conduct the right code reviews, what to see in the code review, right? So in my opinion, there's three key areas to look for in code review. In fact, four we discussed yesterday. So the very basic and the very preliminary thing is hygiene, right? So when I say hygiene, it's about correct indentation, ensuring you're following PHP. So that's something that you're supposed to do. I mean, nobody's going to tell you to do that. Like nobody tells you to brush your teeth, right? You do it. It's like that. It's hygiene. You have to follow hygiene stuff. You have to follow hygiene stuff. As simple as that, right? The second thing is what I would call as structure. Okay. So when I say structure, it is what we talked about right now. Not reinventing anything, using what Joomla already gives, and only writing new code whenever it's really required. Okay, basically harnessing, kind of exploring Joomla. I would say exploiting Joomla to as much as you can in terms of using the whole power of Joomla to write your code. And by that I mean not writing your own new model stuff, not having a stupid convenience function that lets you update one field using that funny table thing. So uh, no going outside Joomla boundaries unless you have a real need and you know what you're doing, right? So they बऱ्याचशा लेवल दिला असतं की don't try this at home or don't repeat this, don't do this unless you know what you're doing, right? It's like that. You cannot write any new code or go outside Joomla boundaries unless you really know what you want to do, right? So that's the structure part of that. And the third part is performance. Okay. So when I say performance, it's about writing efficient queries. It's about writing again minimum code, maximum impact. Okay. Because the less code you write, the less bugs you have to produce. The more code you write, the more bugs you will produce. Right. So it's very essential to to write minimum code which lets you achieve the maximum code. Okay. In fact, I'll be having to give an award to people who write minimum code and maximum impact. So we can do things like measure and then track. So the idea is to write very minimum code and have a lot of impact. Okay. And there's a fourth one that we discussed yesterday, I think. Okay. I think the fourth one is basically understanding the business case of what you're trying to do, right? So for that, actually that is a lot into structuring your models, right? So like sometime back we were discussing about events and attendees, right? So in most, I mean, unless you have a good reason, what you would do is you would have uh, a list of attendees for an event. Obviously, you would want to give a way for an attendee to view all the events he's part of, right? But then at least having that in mind, that this is a question that I need to ask the business owner or the product owner. What is the relationship about? Is it two-way? Is it one-way? Is it what is it? Right? So understanding the complete business side, the logic of the code, actually capturing that correctly in the code, that's also very important because that in a lot of cases ensures that you have again less bugs. Otherwise, if you have any workflow bugs, they kind of stem from the fact that the business understanding of the workflow is not very clear to you, right? So these are, I would say, these are four pillars when you do a code review: hygiene, right? Structure, performance, and business logic, right? So any code reviews that happen have to happen in these guidelines. Obviously, when you see uh, problems with any of these, you need to be able to identify that okay, I see that you're not following Joomla structure, you are necessarily creating extra methods, extra code that is already there in Joomla, and that's I would say. So here, as you progress through your career, obviously you would initially you would make hygiene mistakes. So it's important to understand that what is PHP says, what is good code. Eclipse is a good way to solve that actually, like most of the other data. But you don't end up doing hygiene mistakes, indentation, all of that. So I don't want anyone making those mistakes because I'm not going to talk about that anymore. It's hygiene. रोज brush करता रोज नीट code ले. As simple as that. Second part is obviously writing code in the right structure. So that's the reason we actually had this workshop today, or the had this session and a workshop today, where you would get exposed to the right ways to write code. What are the magic methods in Joomla? What are the convenience functions? We should use those and not reinvent any of those things. I mean, that structure. Next is performance. Performance is efficient queries, efficient code, not too many if conditions. Actually, sometimes there is a thin line between structure and performance. So if you write too many ifs, else, that kind of code fall into both these. So ensuring that you write code that is clean. So have you heard of this notion of a function should do only one thing? You guys know about that? So when you write a function in any language, I mean, not PHP, it should only do one thing. You don't want to write functions that do too many things. Okay? So the thumb rule for each function is that if the function is more than like 40-50 lines, it's time to split it into two. Yeah, so that's the thumb rule that you can follow. Okay, everyone seeing yes, but I haven't seen a lot of people following that. So make sure you follow it. Goes for JavaScript, goes for PHP, goes for any language. Right? Like when you write in English, you don't write so if you write long sentences, our teachers say that you got a mota sentence, full stop tag, they don't put it, right? We've seen our teachers doing that. Same applies to code also. Don't try to do too long questions. Make them short and make them do only one thing. Correct structure and performance, and obviously there is business logic. So you have to understand the business logic. So like a couple of examples that I give. It's important to understand that before actually jumping into code. Because if you don't understand the business logic behind what you're writing code, it's very likely that you will end up writing something that's not required or writing in the wrong way. And then, I mean, so if you see in the hierarchy, the hygiene mistake is the less costliest. It's easy to correct. It doesn't have a big impact. Okay. Whereas as you go up the ladder, the business mistakes are the most costliest to correct because they might need a full rewrite of what you do. Absolutely. So the assumption is that you are already discussing business case, you are writing stories and writing code. So if you are jumping to code without writing stories, you are understanding that's the first mistake you are making already. So that's the assumption, that's a given. So you're not supposed to touch coding, you're not supposed to write any code unless you have a very clear understanding and your stories are kind of accepted by your product manager.
I mean, story is the first thing. So someone is not reviewing your story.
So again, so that kind of goes into a different discussion of writing stories, getting it reviewed. So if you are supposed to write code, you're supposed to get your stories reviewed, right? So that's it. So if your stories are reviewed, they're accepted, and you start coding. So like we said, so the hygiene mistakes are the easiest to correct. They have the least impact, whereas the business code part is that has the biggest impact and it's the hardest to correct because if you got the business logic wrong, so if someone, so it's like a classical cartoon, right? So the client asks for a simple swing, and what the engineering team ends up building is something that's weird. Have you ever seen that comic, right? Yeah. So you don't want to do that. You want to ensure that we understand the requirements clearly. In fact, a lot of time of our development needs to go in simplifying the requirement. Because a lot of times, I've been seeing that a lot of engineers accept the requirement to start coding. They don't contest, they don't question, they don't try to chop and dice and uh, kind of shave off, right? What is not needed. Yeah. So you want to be very crisp. You don't want any bloat. So a lot of times your work will also involve chopping things that are not needed. You need to constantly question why are we doing this? Why can't we do that? Why are we those kind of questions need to come out. It's important to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, then it's a clear sign that you are not thinking. Yeah. So questions have to come out only after you're satisfied with the answers. Should you uh, jump onto coding? So that's the business aspect. So uh, and that's also the hardest to really code review, the business aspect, because the code reviewer needs to have a clear understanding of the business aspect. Then only you can actually review the code. Otherwise, there's no point in doing that code review. So whenever you're reviewing code, make sure you're actually reviewing in these four buckets: hygiene, structure, performance, business. Right? Hygiene is pretty much easy because you actually automated a lot of hygiene code reviews by implementing PHP automated checks. So that's kind of happening automatically. Structure, you guys need to know about all these methods. So it's also somewhat possible to actually automate structure by maybe ensuring that some method names are present in a model. So let's not get into that. But the idea is that structure ensures that you write code uh, in a manner that Joomla understands. So you kind of write code within the boundaries of Joomla. The next is performance. So within the boundaries, you can always write a join query that takes joins like 100 tables and it not see like that. Right? It's important that you. So that's a place where you might want to ask your product manager to redefine the requirements. So if your data is structured in a way where it's not retrievable for a certain use case, you might want to change that use case. So if a use case requires you to join 10 tables to create a list view, that's not efficient, right? So you need to be able to realize that they ask the question, okay, this looks like a performance bottleneck to me. Do you think we can do it in a better way? So I stop it and implement it, right? Again, as I said, it's important to ask questions at the right time because otherwise you'll end up writing code that's completely unmaintainable and non-performant. Okay, so that question asking piece is important. You have to ask questions like always, and not only at the last minute. तो कल डिलीवर करना है आज सर आप पूछो कि अरे रील्स कौन से ऐड करूं ये व्यू ऐसा क्यों ये not working, right? So it's important to ask questions at the right time and ask the right questions. That will solve a lot of your performance and structure problems. And business, obviously, I mean, that's the that's a key. So if you don't understand the logic, the business thing, it's going to be hard for you to actually write code. Right? So four pillars of code review. We see. So one first we are saying is hygiene. Second we are saying is structure, performance, and business logic. Right? So whoever is reviewing code, ensure that you are actually thinking about the four buckets and reviewing any piece of code, thinking of these four buckets. So that will make it easier for you to review code. So when deciding if a code is worthy enough to be shipped, obviously a lot of times you'll have pressure, carry the release is coming up in 10 days, we want to ship this code. So abhi code review kar rahe hain. So in what order would you allow certain mistakes to be passed on? Right? So business mistakes agar hai, to would you want the code to go off? No. Right? Right? So performance mistakes, maybe not. Right? Structure mistakes, also maybe not. Somewhat okay, but not. Hygiene mistakes, okay to ship code that is not good hygiene, but if it's performing, it's working, right? So keep in mind that also when you are deciding what to let go and what to kind of hold. So when you're holding a release, understand that you're making very important decision. Right? When you say when you put down and say like this can't go in the release, you're actually making a big decision by affecting a lot of stakeholders. You're affecting your team, you're affecting your client, you're affecting the release, right? Make sure the decision is taken. So obviously if it's a business code failure, then it is very valid to actually stop the release if it's like a huge broker. Right? So if you are building a system that lets people, so JT getting event, JT getting release going out without a way to buy tickets, that's a business thing. You can't let the release out. Obviously, it's a big hole, but business failures, code reviews, okay to stop release. Performance maybe okay. If it's not a important report, and you can tell your clients कि ये report use मत करो चार दिन. So push it. Structure maybe yes, but you have to ensure that you put a note for your engineering team to refactor this and ensure that in the next release this gets fixed. Hygiene obviously, again it's okay to let that code go, but if you see the same hygiene thing happening again and again, you have to have a nice chat with them. Okay, so that's code reviews. So any questions? And any people who code reviews, make sure that you are well aware of these four areas. You can work with me, Manoj, Amol, any of these guys to actually understand how we are working on code reviews. Ensure that you are actually following these areas when you are doing and approving code. Good. Similarly, this applies to not just PHP code but JavaScript code also. A lot of times I'm seeing JavaScript code kind of being written in any manner that it's completely unmaintainable. So we need to start applying these notions to JavaScript code, start writing maintainable code. Okay. Not right. Again, JavaScript may the biggest issue I see is too much code. You have to write code that is well separated and just same applies for HTML also, CSS also. Yeah. Yeah, so that's code review. I think we have already done a lot of time, so we'll probably start code. So for the workshop, so the document that we shared I'm on. So does that have projects for everyone? Can I put some on screen? Okay, so we have a list of projects for Instagram that we want people to take up. So like the mobile team has their own project which they want. So that's nice, that's nice for it, by the way. So you can use the mobile team to let them out. So all of us know that the mobile team makes apps for ticketing and easy setup, right? And easy block. Okay. So the way it works right now is that they have to, for each customer, they have to ask questions like what color do you want for links, what color you want for headers, can you give us your logo, can you give us this, ask like 20 questions and then create the build for them. So we want to create a component for our server friends that their customers can fill in the form. They can actually generate a zip file that contains all the CSS files or the JavaScript files with the configuration that they enter in the form. The zip file comes to our server and they create the build. So the idea is to, so right now they're taking like 4 hours to create a build. The idea is to do that in 4 minutes eventually. So that's nice component. Okay, cool. So the other thing that we have a great component coming out called as TJVCM. So TJVCM lets you create any kind of content on the Joomla site. We can have like 20 different kinds of content using TJVCM. We have JLike, so that's the third one, automation for app servers. We have TJ Field, the role-based TJ, we have TJ reports. We have import, so that's another cool thing that Sushan is working on is the importer. A lot of API work. Course menu module, what's that? Advanced refactor, so that's something that I'm working about on. Activity stream, so Ankush is going on here. So activity stream is something else that we are trying to build on. It's a universal activity stream engine, and we have assessment engine. So the idea is to write code that follows Joomla guidelines for these projects. And I think for the RKIT projects, we have a couple of other Manoj, the RKIT team, we have 2 more projects. So I think they are building a lead management thing for us. So I hope that by end of today we won't need any paper applications. So we have a lead management and then we have what else? So Grievance's kind of not just machine, I would say my drawer is broken. I don't like to positively mix with change of place. So you get a request challenge. I don't know what we do about that. You get to change of place for sure. Change of place probably. Yeah, so they want to. Yeah, so you guys would want to work in teams of 3 because there might be more work that you can finish in one day. So having 3 people will help. Yeah, so you guys can copy this JDK component, change the code and get going. That might be the fastest way to get started. Cool. So afterwards, we will need some help from someone else to get up to speed. TJSM, I think you are supposed to work on that. In fact, in TJSM, you then maybe. So what else do we have? So what about this thing? Uh, does uh, does Sushan need help on APIs? Sushan, for importer, what's your plan for that? So if you have 1 or 2 developers, you will be able to give them work. What work would you want to give them? APIs? Yeah, JavaScript. APIs. Okay, so anyone who's building APIs, I can do a quick 15-minute session whenever you guys want to show you how to build it. We want to do a workshop really, but the thing is, if you don't have enough projects, then other people. Yeah, I definitely. So I definitely want JTKing and JCube to be started to be built. I want Across to build their component based on this project. I want PGACM built on this. Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah, you will end up having no makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so I think yeah, now that we have this fresh in our minds, let everyone work on some sort of this. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. So in that case, I think it's also okay to build APIs because in APIs you will do the same thing of get items. So that way it's a good thing to find out the list and start set up. So someone can work on that. So in the world, when you do APIs, I can have a quick 15-minute session on how to build APIs. Uh, Now or after lunch order. By the way, we are ordering lunch. I think you guys have received a form. Right? Align upon. So let's fill that up so that we can order lunch. Local, you can order lunch in time. The idea is to actually have a working lunch, just sit here, have some fun, have lunch, do work. Okay, so let's stay here, not work for lunch, and finish. Wow, first question was that's why you know form. इसका है उनका email order accordingly. Form आपके पास आया है. But the idea is let's do working lunch today. Let's have fun. Let's actually up our skills so it actually be Rajnikant supporting. So the idea is Monday onwards, we don't want anyone writing efficient code. Monday onwards, everyone should leave the notion of maximum impact in your code. Yeah. Can we all agree? Yeah. Cool. So let's get started. With Rohit side. So do we have names of who's doing what?
I can work with
You can only system. Okay. So you want to build a lot of APIs. Toolset and flows. Okay, so I think we need to refactor. So basically, again, what you have to do is if your table structures are right, you have to build a table class and a model for each of those tables. So you want to do के लिए one model, one form and one list model. For rule sets, you want the same thing. So it's just about refactoring all your code to be in the format of what we talked about, supermodel one, right? So if you want to list of to-dos, you just want to do set, get items. If you want to create a to-do, you have to say model same, right? So wherever you are using those, make sure you're using it correct. So the first thing to do is refactor the or build the models if they're not there, and then the next step you can use them wherever you want to use. So I would say start with refactoring. So this type of model मध्ये print करून केलं, you can use that to quickly check if things are working properly. Cool. So I think we will get started. So Manoj, can you get the activity like started? I can do a separate one for this. I just do one quickly with them. Cool. So let's get started. Without wasting any more time, let's get started.
Thank you very much. This is my. आणि हे क्लासेस ठेवणार आहेत का? निखिल काढतोय का ते? सर्वर आहे. निखिल दोघं कसं असते तुम्हाला जर झालं तर दिसेल ना मी